Good morning, children. Let us move on to our eighth chapter. Say no to drugs. Bobby knows what drug addiction is like. He lived through a hellish 3 years but survived it. And now he tells his story to the local youth to make a positive difference. Children, Bobby, a person who knows what drug addiction is like, as he lived through a hellish, that is, very unpleasant 3 years, but he survived from it. And now he tells his story to the local youth to make a positive difference. Now he unveils his past bad life before us to make a positive difference. The 21-year-old shares a dark tale of his experience with drug abuse that includes an overdose, criminal activity, and more. But his message is positive, and he has no problem with sharing what he has endured to teach the world that there is a light and life after addiction. Children, here 21-year-old Bobby shares a dark tale, a dark story of his experience with drug abuse, which includes an overdose, criminal activity, and more. But, children, his message is very positive, and he has no problem with sharing what all things he has endured, that is, experienced or tolerate, to teach the world that there is light and life after addiction. He has no problem with sharing all his experience or what all things he has experienced or he has tolerated, and he teach the world that there is life and light after addiction. Bobby and his mother were among the attendees at the Drug Leadership Summit, where elected officials and concerned citizen leaders gathered to hear the reality of drug abuse in the township. Children, it is familiar that people have been passing through the evil path of drugs, especially youngsters. Youth, they have fallen down in the evil life of drugs and addiction, and they have been leading a loose life. I have always known I was an addict, said Bobby. Bobby said he has always known that he was an addict. I was addicted to Pokemon cards, baseball cards, video games. Everything that I liked, I wanted more and more. So Bobby was addicted to Pokemon cards, baseball cards, video games, and what all things he liked most, that he wanted more and more. But he couldn't get that enough. He discovered marijuana as a middle schooler and started smoking weed every day. Marijuana means, children, it's a strong smelling plant that's drug leaves. So he discovered marijuana as a middle schooler and he started smoking weed every day. Once he got into high school and progressed to harder stuff, pills, heroin, fairly quickly. Heroin means, children, it's a narcotic. So when he got into high school, there was a progression and the usage of stuff and heroin. And he added that everything he obtained from people around. Bobby realized he was on a dangerous path when he was 18 years old. See, children, when he was at 18, he realized that he was on a dangerous path because he had gone through the path of addiction. He was addicted to Pokemon cards, baseballs, video games, stuff pills, heroin. And I didn't want to change it, he recalled. Even though he realized that he was on a dangerous path, he didn't want to change that. The good thing in his life at the time was football. It was my way into college, he added. But his way into college became part of the problem when he broke his leg while playing and found himself deeply depressed. At that time, the only good thing in his life was that football, and it was in his way to college. But his way into college became part of the problem when he broke his leg while playing and he found himself deeply depressed. So, football, that was his way into college, but it also became a part of the problem. How? When he broke his leg while playing football and he found himself deeply depressed. He was given the pain medication and it offered a kind of escape from that pain. I liked the way the pills made me feel. Bobby said that. I liked the way that pills made me feel, that pain medication made me feel. They took the depression away. His mother said that while she initially missed the signs of her boy's addiction, eventually she realized how bad the situation was becoming. Initially, his mother didn't notice the signs of her boy's addiction, but gradually she realized the situation was becoming worse. And then Bobby even brought crime into the family home. He got into stealing from us, she said, her face turning to a frown as she recalled the past. Not only he was addicted in the drugs, but also he started stealing things from his house. He would take the credit card and put it somewhere else. I thought I was crazy. There were arrests too, and a time in jail for forgery. Forgery means falsification or fake or fraudulent. So there were arrests also for forgery. Bobby, who today feels ashamed of his behavior and its effect on his now healed family, said that at the time he did not care about anything but himself and scoring more drugs. Today, Bobby feels ashamed of his bad behavior and its effect. And he said that at that time he did not care about anything, but he himself cared much and used more drugs. The addiction snowballed until at the age of 19, he finally asked his mother for help and was placed into a rehabilitation center. So the addiction snowballed. Snowballed means increased rapidly until at the age of 19. Finally, he sought help from his mother and was placed into a rehabilitation center. He didn't stick through it. The young man then went into a cycle of rehab, a return home, and back to drugs, crime, and trouble. It was continual. It doesn't make sense, but with an addict, not much does, says Bobby, who is now clean and out of rehab. He is thriving in his job, living in a group home with stringent rules. Stringent means strict rules. Now Bobby is clean and perfect and out of rehab, and he's thriving in his job and living in a group home with strict rules, making plans to get his own place eventually and actively avoiding his old friends and trouble. He spends the rare free time he allows himself speaking to young people about the dangers of drug abuse. So he spends his rare free time speaking to young people about the dangers of drug abuse. I do it because no one needs to walk the road I did, he said. Why did he speak to young people about the dangers of young drug abuse? As no one needs to walk the road, the path, that evil path that Bobby did. I share my message about what I went through. I know what's going on in the schools, where to find it, what they are doing, and I tell them it's not worth it.